Hello, welcome to the Module 9 of Mastering the Critical Pillars of Sales Program. My name is Ferdinand M. Ibezim. In the last two modules, we have focused on using the selling wheel to demonstrate capacity. The elements of the selling wheel, which we described as the spokes that enable movement towards a desired sales goals, are establish rapport, confirm understanding of needs, make an effective sales pitch, create a desire, handle objections, and close the sale. In the immediate last module, we focused on making an effective sales pitch. The remaining elements of the selling wheel, which we have not examined, are create a desire, handle objections, and close the sale. Let's briefly touch on how to create a desire. In selling, the starting point of creating a desire is to win the mind share of the prospect. And you win the mind share by selling to the heart. Essentially, buying decisions are made from the heart and the head. So whilst the head is the realm of rational reasoning, the heart is the realm of emotion. Selling to the heart starts by establishing rapport. You then increase the level of desire by understanding the needs of the prospect. After that, you generate excitement for your offerings by demonstrating capacity through an effective and persuasive sales pitch. However, no matter the level of desire created by establishing rapport, showing understanding of needs, and by your persuasive sales pitch, it's very unlikely that the prospect will buy from you without asking questions, expressing concerns, reservations, and apprehensions. In other words, prospects are unlikely to become customers without raising objections. In this module, therefore, we shall be erecting the pillar of handling objections. So what is a sales objection? Please write your definition in your workbook. A sales objection refers to a prospect's expressed resistance or disagreement with a product, a service, price, or any aspect of the sales pitch or proposal. When a prospect raises an objection, it indicates their concerns or hesitation about making a purchase. So objection handling in the context of sales refers to the skill and the process of addressing and overcoming objections raised by a prospect. Effective objection handling involves responding to concerns, doubts, or hesitation that a prospect may express during the sales process in a way that alleviates the prospect's concerns, builds trust, and moves the sales conversation forward. My question to you is, are sales objections walls or hurdles? This question is important because how you interpret a sales objection inevitably impacts your sales results. If you see an objection as a wall, the tendency is for you to psychologically give up whenever you hear one. If, however, you perceive an objection as a hurdle, you will do what hurdle runners do, which is to jump it. Just as you can't win the 110 meters hurdles race without jumping over those barriers, so you cannot meet your sales targets without dealing with and handling objections. Objections lubricate the sales process. They give you valuable insight into the psyche of the prospect. Objections also lay out the extent of the obstacles you are facing and enable you develop a game plan to resolve such problems and jump the hurdles. Silence and lack of communication or feedback are the salesperson's worst enemy. Silence gives you nothing to work with and little chances to succeed. Smart salespeople welcome objections. Objections indicate interest. And if you overcome these objections, your probability of making a sale is much higher. Objections typically would come in 4 dimensions. Objections as questions, objections as no, objections as common objections, and then the true objections. Let's analyze these 4 dimensions, starting with objections as questions. So ordinarily, why do people ask questions? Better still, why do you ask questions? People ask questions for a number of reasons. These reasons would include, number 1, to get clarifications. Have you ever asked someone to buy you chicken pie and the person comes back with chicken part? This can only happen because of lack of clarity in the communication. So when prospects ask questions, they sometimes do so to confirm that what they heard was indeed what you said. Your responsibility is to continue to provide the clarification until the prospect confirms understanding. The second reason why people, including prospects, ask questions is to get more facts. If you make a claim or say something during your sales presentation and the prospect doubts you or even outrightly accuses you of lying, please do not get offended. It is not an attack on your integrity. They are simply asking you to substantiate your claim, to provide evidence, to offer facts. The third reason why prospects ask questions is to express a point of view. Now, this is quite common when you are selling to experts or to people who feel they are knowledgeable about what you're selling. Such people would usually ask you questions and then take over the conversation. What you should do in this situation is to encourage them to talk, listen to them, and make them feel acknowledged and respected. Prospects also ask questions to get more information. If you have not provided all the requisite information that will help the prospect make a buying decision, of course the prospect will ask questions. Other reasons would include to mitigate risk because they can't or don't want to buy, to assess you, the salesperson, to delay and buy time, or because they are interested in the offer. Now, can you come up with other reasons why prospects ask questions? Now, amongst the 9 reasons I mentioned and the ones you may have added, which one of them would you consider to be the best way that a salesperson should interpret a prospect's questions? Please write your answers in your workbook. The best way to interpret a prospect's question is the 9th reason that I mentioned, which is that they are interested in the offer. That way, you'll be more patient and deliberate in responding to the questions, believing that all questions, if properly answered, would lead to a close. The second dimension of sales objections is objections as no. When you hear the word no from a prospect or customer, how do you interpret it? What can no mean? Quite unfortunately, a number of salespeople interpret no to mean only one thing: the prospect is not interested. But that can be wrong. In selling, no can mean a number of things, including no, not right now, which means it's a timing issue. No can also mean I don't have the money, which is a funding or budget issue. In that situation, is it possible that if you offered the prospect flexible payment terms or a discount, that they may just buy? No can also mean I don't have the authority. In this case, you can ask them to refer you to the person that has the authority. No can also mean I don't want to make the decision. For instance, if you're selling Christmas decorative items and you go to a man, he may prefer that the wife makes the choice of what to buy. I can't use it can also be an underlying meaning of a no. In this situation, patiently explaining and simplifying the step-by-step usage process may just help. No can also mean I don't need it. Now, this is usually the result of wrong or lack of proper customer profiling and wrong or insufficient needs assessment. So using the SPIN model discussed in the Module 6 of this program to ask questions will greatly reduce the likelihood of this objection.